In online marketing, one of the hardest things to determine is who are you talking to? Who is your audience?
What is that ideal customer avatar that you have in your business?
Even if you've been at this game for a while, there is always an element of guessing that comes into this, as well as consistently analyzing your audience to know who you're truly talking to. Well, in this video, I want to take an entirely different approach to this topic by looking at your human design chart to see what audience you are attracting in. This is a system that breaks down how your unique energy works and how you engage with others in the world. You do not need to understand the entire system. The only thing you need to do is to pull your chart, which I will link to in the description below of how to do that. And you need to look at this section of your chart and see what the 2 decimal point numbers are. And I will take you the rest of the way. I'm Amanda Horvath, and I help entrepreneurs make authentic video content so that they can make money online. And I use the human design system in order to help you do that. So if you're interested in that, be sure to subscribe. And if you want a quick lowdown on what the human design system is, be sure to check out my quick start guide to human design, linked in the description below. There are 6 numbers that you could possibly have in the placement that I previously told you to pull out. I'm going to break down numbers 1 through 6 so that you can better understand who your audience persona is through these numbers. So you're going to have 2 that are relevant to you. Let's dive in. Line 1. Your audience is made up of investigators. These are people that really need to have a very solid foundation on a topic before they can really feel comfortable moving forward. I personally am a line 1, and what this looks like is reading a ton of books, podcasts, taking courses, searching for things online. There is a deep investigation that can come with this, that you're really wanting to get into the nerdy details of something. So if this is your audience, then the way that you would communicate to your audience is through helping them build that solid foundation so that they can feel really confident in the information that you are sharing with them. Line 2. Your audience is the naturals. These are people that don't have to deeply investigate something to understand it. They just are naturally good at it for whatever reason. They don't necessarily understand why they're good at it. They're just good at it. When you're talking to these individuals, you don't want to be using those investigation type approaches where you're going to be breaking something down very intricately. They don't need that. They just need you to point them in the right direction and see if they can intuitively fill in the gaps. They're also someone that has what we call a projection field. Often other people will look at this person and project who they think that that person is onto this person, and that can be really challenging to deal with. So addressing all of those points within your marketing material can be really beneficial to pull out the right people and attract them to your brand. Line 3. These are the tinkerers of the world. People that love to get their hands dirty. They want to learn via trial and error. They don't want to read a book about something. They don't want to read the manual. They just want to get in there. They want to figure it out. So you want to support them in that trial and error process. A lot of this can involve failure and making someone comfortable with failure, because you really can't learn unless you fail. Someone with this line can be the most materially successful individual because they can really learn through that trial and error process and figure out the best solution. So talking to them from that lens could be beneficial. Like, oh, you are here to be successful. You've got this. But the way that you're going to learn is through trial and error. And I'm going to support you in that process. So really using that language within your marketing will help attract the right people to you. Line 4. These individuals are incredibly friendly. They are all about community. Community matters. In fact, all their opportunities come through their network. That is something to address in your messaging. You really want to come across as a friend to this person. You want to talk about community. You want to talk about expanding their network. That can really draw this person in to be curious, to want to know more. I also want to point out that your audience is going to have other components to themselves as well. So someone will always have 2 numbers that they resonate with, but you are specifically looking at the one that you are pulling in based on the information we previously pulled out. So you really want to hone in and focus on that and see who comes to you. It's really interesting when you begin to experiment with this. Line 5. These are individuals that can really relate well with strangers. They have a very similar projection field to the two that we previously described, where other people are going to look at them and project onto them what they want to see. And specifically, they're being projected on this savior complex. Talking to that and making them feel like, do you feel like people misunderstand you and don't really see who you are? If your product relates to that, that might be something that would really pull this person in. Also, this is an individual who is here to be a little bit heretical. They're gonna do things against the grain. They're gonna be a little bit unique in their belief system, and that can look very different. So if your product or service also speaks to that, then that is something to acknowledge in your marketing. The line 5 is also here to universalize a body of knowledge, and how they do that might vary depending on the other number that they have in their profile. As I previously mentioned, there are 2 numbers that each person will resonate with. But the general theme is that universalizing a body of knowledge. So if your product or service helps them really understand a body of knowledge in their own way, so that they can then turn around and put the pieces together for themselves, then that is also something to acknowledge in your marketing. Line 6. How you approach this audience is going to vary depending on the demographics, specifically the age of your audience. So if you're going after a younger audience, then you in some ways want to treat this person a little bit more like a line 3. And I'm not going to describe why, because I'm going to keep this high level in this video, but there's someone that earlier in life, they're going to learn a lot via trial and error. And then once they move past the age of 40, they're going to get rid of the trial and error, be done with that in their life, and they're just going to be a role model for what they learned in that first part of their life. This is someone that other people look up to, and acknowledging that within your message can be really helpful. They're also someone that has kind of an aloof perspective of the world. They look at others that are doing things a certain way and they're like, I wonder why they're doing that. Or they have kind of this additional awareness of life that other people might not connect to as much. And so talking to that component can also be really beneficial in your marketing. I would love to know how this resonates with you and what you already know about your audience. Go ahead and drop your comments below and let's be friends, because I'm a line 4. And if you just want to learn the foundational basics of human design, then start with this video here on what's human design. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.